I've been waiting for what feels like months since they announced Aglaea and whatever the witch girl is. But thanks to CE server, I finally have access to baby girl. I don't know if I'd call her baby girl because she's more like maybe y'all would call her mommy. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. But anyhow, our third summon based character is here, and she comes with quite the interesting kit. Aglaea is going to be the first character that I believe is completely speed based, not speed and a little bit of something else, but completely speed based, where you want to prioritize building her speed as much as possible because she actually gets an insane 720% boost based on her speed that directly translates into her attack. And of course, there's a little bit there with Garment Maker, which is going to be her summon and having an influence to the attack as well, about 360% at max stats. And honestly, this is probably the first time that we've had something like this, right? I mean, we have Blade, where Blade is based off HP, but he still has a little bit of attack percentage in his kit. And then we have other characters like Robin, who is pretty much all attack percent, and then she does all her buffs based off her own attack percent. But that's a support character, so I guess it doesn't really count in the same way. But for a DPS character to not only be influenced by normal DPS stats, but also be influenced by speed, which is one of the stats in the game that we don't fully understand just yet. And when I say we fully don't understand it, I mean there are more things to do with speed that we as a collective, a player base, just have not dug into. I mean, yeah, we know about speed tuning and we know about action advance or action value, to say the least, but to say that we can understand that fully and do that with every single character in the game or every single team in the game, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface yet, or at least maybe the proper analogy is like digging into your skin, whatever. The point being is that Aglaea really feels like she makes you do that. So if you're one of the players who really want to get your hands on Aglaea, you've been looking for something that forces you, or rather encourages you, to learn more about speed tuning, and this goes well beyond just Aglaea. I mean, you are speed tuning the entire team at this point to make everybody work, and it feels like finally, for me at least, we have a team or character that unifies this one concept. The concept of studying or understanding speed tuning and action values and how to manipulate these, whether or not you're using an action advanced character or characters that slow down the opponent, like Ruan Mei and her delay, for instance. Having all these different things that apply to what we have right now in the game and what we could potentially have in the future really sets the sell for me. And why that speed is so important is because Aglaea has certain things in her kit, like her Memo Sprite's talent. And yes, her Memo Sprite has its own talent or abilities, attacks, whatever. And the Memo Sprite basically increases its speed up to 6 times by 55 points each attack. So each time it attacks somebody with the Seam Stitch state, which is going to be this yellow golden thing above the enemy's head that you're going to be able to implant from your technique, as well as from Aglaea just slicing the crap out of them. But the 55 times 6 is a whopping 330 speed on top of whatever it is that your Memo Sprite has. And this directly correlates with what Aglaea has going on too. So now you end up getting a character that has a crazy amount of speed that's able to essentially, well, theoretically, of course, go an infinite amount of times, given the fact that you would be able to increase her speed a significant amount given what we have available to us in the game. But here's where I really start to fall in love with Aglaea and how you play her. I go over this a little bit in the second part of this video, so it'll be a little brief, but there's something super interesting about Aglaea. The fact that you have to speed tune her in a way that makes it so that she goes first or second or third, or even fourth sometimes, depending on the team and the other members on your team as well. And we've done little things like this, right? With Pela, for instance, where you might want to use Pela with Von Quack or Ruan Mei with Von Quack, even though Ruan Mei might be slow, right? So slow Mei plus Von Quack would allow us to get her ultimate off immediately, and then she hangs out in the back until the end of the cycle. Or in Pela's case, being able to pop your ult immediately and immediately apply, 35% or 40% defense reduction across the board to every enemy on the field, so that you can start doing as much damage as fast as possible. Stuff like this is normal. But in Aglaea's case, there are situations where you will not play the same Aglaea as someone else. And yeah, there are going to be I guess, like, if you have the same team, there will be certain situations where you will do the same actions as maybe me or another creator or even your friend might teach you how to do. But when it comes down to the RNG factor of Honkai Star Rail and the builds and how everyone is going to have different builds, you yourself are going to have to figure out your own speed values, your own team building, and figure out who does what, when, how, and where. And I think that's like the beauty that I found in Aglaea, and why I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm super excited for this character because before I didn't fully understand her. I thought she was going to be more like an upgraded Jing Yuan, if you will, where, you know, we have Jing Yuan, he does his lightning damage, you have Lightning Lord, you bring him forward with Sunday, and then they either do the damage or they don't, and you keep it pushing from there. I thought this was going to be another situation where she was purely a hyper carry type of character, where if you don't hyper carry her, you're going to lose all the value. But now that I've spent a little bit more time with her, to be able to see certain characters like RMC, who has constantly been proving themselves similar to, I guess it's not even really similar to HMC, right? HMC touched the field and they were just kind of like cracked, but RMC took a little bit of work, took a little bit of time, and now we're starting to see that RMC is pretty good, more than pretty good actually. But Aglaea, there's just something about this character, man. Like I need to do more digging. So what I'm going to show you guys is pretty much a first impressions, or a run of the mill of me understanding and learning this character with you guys, because all this happens, like I did it already, but this is like post me doing it. Like I just did it literally 10 minutes ago, and now I'm telling you guys now, video editing, everyone, right? All right, boys and ladies, there was a lot of tinkering that I had to do with this. I feel like there's not enough light. Hold on. Boom. There we go. All right. Nice. We got some more light. Okay. There's a lot of tinkering that I had to do with this particular team. And for those that may not be following the channel, one, Greek mythology, big on that. Two, Aglaea, pulling that. So a lot of what we're doing today is testing Aglaea. In fact, all week, the last couple weeks, actually, I've been testing Aglaea, and there's a lot that goes into this character that makes me feel like she is, I know that's like really small of a word, but I'm trying to find the best way to elaborate this without making it seem like she's crazy cracked out of her mind, because she's not. At the same time, I don't think that she's some character that is lesser than what we have right now. And I feel like this character is only going to improve over time. So let me kind of go through what we're doing, and then I'll like post narrate a lot of the stuff that we had here, right? So just to go over this quickly, this is her build that I'm going to be using. This is E0, by the way. E0 S1, you guys know how to do. 169 speed. Originally, I had her like 178, 180, something like that. But what I like about this character, as well as something that we discovered with Herta, is that there is sweet spots for Aglaea and like the rest of the team. And if I'm being honest, this type of team building is something that I've been looking for a little bit now, for like the last few patches. And it feels like in order to draw out her most power, you need to do that. So actually, you know what? Let's just run through it, okay? Hopefully RN Jesus is on our side today, and I can show you guys exactly what I mean. We're going to start off with our standard things here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I feel like it's a little too loud for my taste. So a couple things need to happen here. One of the key things that needs to happen is we need Aglaea or my Memo to get hit. We're going to summon Mim, literally, and then we're going to go from here. Now, I'll go through where it needs to happen at some point, but due to the fact that Aglaea is an enhanced basic attack character, we really don't have to worry about skill points as much as we would think. And contrary to, there's no way they just did that to my Sunday. Gotta be kidding me, bro. Out of all the things that you could have possibly done, you decided to send my Sunday down? Like, really? That's what we're doing? So we restarted because I need Sunday to be able to pull up my Aglaea after getting the Mim. Yeah. Out of all the runs that I've tried, which hasn't been a lot actually, just like maybe 3 tops, but we didn't have that. So now I'm gonna pull her up with pull him up with Sunday. We're gonna use Sunday's ult. This thing is pretty standard, right? What I'm doing right now is kind of standard, but like I said, somewhere along this, we would have wanted Aglaea to get hit because we need the ultimate to happen right around here. So hopefully I can make this happen. If not, we might be a little cooked and you might see another restart, but I think we got it. We're barely, bro, how much am I off? How much am I off? I'm off by literally 1 point. And now you can see kind of where like the RNG factor comes into play here. I have tested this with like ERR rope versus attack rope, and so far I'm really liking attack rope more. The reason I'm liking attack rope more is simply because of the fact that I just don't find the value out of ERR when it comes to this type of scenario. Now, maybe, right? Maybe this 1 point would actually help me out, but then I'd be lacking damage to kill off towards the end of the round. And that's pretty important to me. So hopefully I can actually get hit right here and we should be chilling. So let's see. There it is, just like that. So maybe we're able to save ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and also use Mim's ultimate here, or RMC's ultimate here, just so that we don't hold on to any energy that isn't needed. Boom. All right. Now we have Miss Hua by Ho-Oh over here. We're going to give that to her. Nice. Beautiful. And right here is around the time where I feel like this is something that I was kind of taking into consideration and learning as I was doing my practice run for the first impression here. And it's that you have to split who you're attacking. Normally you would kind of focus down, right? Due to the fact that she's hitting multiple characters, you want to spread the damage a little bit, the true damage, because what ends up happening here is, wow, she actually did that to Mim. That's a little interesting there. But what ends up happening is you're now able to kind of knock off both sides of the board if we're lucky. So now we're gonna do this. This should push everybody up. Boom, there's 100%. Mim comes through. Nice. Bring baby girl up. Beautiful. And now we get to pick off the rest of what's going on here. This should take out the Trotter. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, now this is a lot of damage. I really don't think I'm going to be able to pull this one off here. I don't think I'm going to get the 0 on this particular cycle, which is super weird because before I was able to get it. And maybe. Okay, wait. Oh, it's so close, bro. It was right there. It's right there, man. Just a little bit. And you guys can see now what I mean by like the different types of tuning that I have to work with in order to get Aglaea to kind of like wipe out this entire thing. And going back, testing things, going back, figuring out like if I want attack rope or a certain amount of speed. And we'll talk about that once we kind of finish off this. But let me zip through this. You guys can see it right here. This is literally, it's just straight up, did I get enough damage or not? All right. So let me kind of run the play again so that I can show you the second half of this without actually showing you the whole cycle all the way through. If I'm not mistaken, this should be it, but hey, you know, things happen. I want to say this is it because Mim's gonna take the yes. Okay, boom, there we go. Nice, we got it. All right, so what had to happen right there, which I should have left it in the video for you guys to see, but you saw that RMC plus Aglaea being able to go right before RMC and me using a skill at a certain time allowed me to actually take I think 2 or 3 actions back to back. Plus Sunday being in the middle of it as well, or at the end of it, allowed me to pretty much get Aglaea up to snuff. And since we jumped into the next cycle, which is, this is the 0 cycle of the first wave, you see that my action bar, right? So where Aglaea is, you see the 65 at the bottom, and you see that she's gonna go again. Actually, I think my mouse is on, so you can see it right here, right? Aglaea is at the top. If you come down just a little bit, right? Boom, 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 4 squares down, you see she'll go again at 36. And then because of the speed, you know that she's gonna go again before 65. And so hopefully, which I mean, we have Sunday's ult, we should be able to get her ultimate. What I want though, is I want to be able to get her ultimate without Sunday, right? I want to be able to pull in this ultimate so that I don't get it from Sunday, which that kill should have gotten it for me. And it looks like I am going to get that ult because we get to go again before Sunday is actually going to come up, which is awesome. So I'm going to use RMC here, which might be a better play. Let's see here. If we can, this is 95, 93. Okay. So with 93, plus the ults, I think we can pull this. Yeah. Boom, we get the ultimate right here. And so now what's going to happen here is we're going to be able to get attacked twice from 2 attacks, actually. What's going to end up giving us, if I'm not mistaken, 98. And then Mim, no. Okay, never mind. I was hoping that last little bit, 99, would turn into 100%. But unfortunately, what's going to happen right here is now Mim is going to go, Mim is going to jump up, and it's going to create a problem for us. Maybe not. Let me see if Garment Maker, nope, yep, there it is. I was going to say if Garment Maker goes again, then it'll be fine on its own, but that's actually not what happened. And maybe this works out for us. It should be a 1 cycle no matter what, but in the event that we were able to pull that off, we would have been able to get Aglaea to go, and then RMC would have been able to go, and then Sunday would have been able to go. But this is kind of what I was getting at about earlier with the speed tuning for the team. And what I actually really enjoy about how the team presents itself, or like rather what I need to look at for the team, it just feels really nice. So again, in the event I was able to sneak in her ultimate at this very last click here, or this very last little wave, we would absolutely, and if we can get RMC's ult, actually, now that I'm looking at this, if I can get RMC's ult, this would come in clutch. And in fact, I think I can pull this off. Mim goes at the very end. If we can get Mim to get that last little bit, I'm not going to hit this guy because I need this guy to hit everybody AoE. If we can get this last one, there's Mim's ult right there. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to do 2 things. We're going to do this. We're going to pop Aglaea. Boom. Yes. Yeah, I think this is the 0. I actually think this is a 0. Like, yo, that's crazy, man. 5th time's the charm. We get to pull Aglaea up. This is going to give Aglaea her ultimate again. We're going to activate the ultimate, and then we're going to be able to activate it for Sunday and get to go again. Yo, that's the 0. Yo, let's fucking go, baby. That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh, that was clean. Now, why am I so excited about the 0? I'm super excited about that 0 cycle because it consisted of the standard balanced team. There's nothing crazy about what I did with that team. We have RMC, which is a free character for us to be able to use. We have Sunday, which obviously we know Sunday is the premier summon unit. We have Aglaea, E0S1, which is pretty standard for anybody that wants Aglaea. And then we have Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh being pretty much our standard, like anything with energy, any DPS with energy, Ho-Oh is like the main one we're using. So let me go over what we're using so far for you guys to be able to see this, and then we'll kind of break down some more stuff, plus whatever I talked about in the beginning of this video. 2600 attack. Again, I'm running the attack rope instead of energy rope. We'll talk about that in a bit, with 169 speed. Now, you might think this is a little like crazy, but unfortunately, Aglaea's entire thing, as discussed in the video, is about speed. She wants more speed. The faster she goes, the stronger she gets, because she's going to boost her own attack from that speed. However, as we kind of discovered here throughout a lot of testing, there are sweet spots with her speed numbers. And so something in this particular case might be that you don't want your Sunday, right? He's only 134. You don't want Sunday to be any faster than Aglaea, or rather, I think the way it's supposed to be is you want Sunday half the speed or something like that, that Aglaea would be at double. So if your Aglaea goes in a battle and she's like 250 or something like that, then you want your Sunday around whatever, like 125. Yeah, you want them like a 125. Obviously don't run that because that's super slow. So 134 is kind of like the standard speed. You want Ho-Oh to be faster. You want RMC to be faster. There's a lot of different speed checks that you want in order to have this happen. I'm also running this light cone with RMC, which is going to increase the crit damage that we're doing, because at E6, RMC is going to be able to get guaranteed crit rates. And then this is also going to help increase all allies damage. In this case, since it's just a standard hypercarrier balanced team, then we're going to be able to increase that damage for Aglaea. No one else is really doing damage. It's fine, right? RMC is going to do a little damage, but it's whatever. I don't feel like this light cone significantly boosted a lot of what's going on. You could run this one if you really wanted to, but this is, of course, if you're running something where it's a little bit more offensive with your RMC. Mine's isn't, so it is what it is. My Sunday is running his light cone, the S1 for the light cone as well. And then traces, you guys know how the server is, everything's maxed out. We're running Lushaka. So when we go into battle, actually, Aglaea's attack is like 7,000 or something like that, or 6,000. It's somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 with the attack rope. Without the attack rope, it's somewhere between 5,000 to 6,000, give or take. And like I said, you guys can do that right here. And we are running a lightning damage boost orb. But most of what you're focusing on with this character is she's pretty difficult to build when it comes to like getting very exclusive stats. 77, 150, 169, 2600 attack. You know, if you could push this up to 3K, that'd be fantastic, right? And then even the speed, this is like first night, right? First impressions of this. I'm sure if we tinkered with this more, the 169, for all we know, the sweet spot could be 155. And we could get all the speed that I just showed you, all the turns, we can get that from 155. But we might be able to sacrifice a little bit of the speed tuning or the speed points, right? The substats, in order to maximize more attack or even get more crit damage. Who knows? I'm running 77.9% crit rate because Sunday gives her the other 20% with his skill, which is 20%, right? So it's going to turn into 97.9. But when I go into battle, she has 100% anyway, like 107 or something like that. RMC is actually giving the extra crit rate. It's a 10% crit rate increase. Eidolons, there we go. Boom, E1. RMC's E1 is going to give the 10% crit rate, which lets me pretty much 70% crit rate on my Aglaea, pump the rest into crit damage, pump the rest into speed and attack, and we're chilling. This performance from Aglaea was super cool. I know that the standard thing that we're doing, or like the premier team, is absolutely going to be, what is it? Aglaea, Robin, Sunday, and then Ho-Oh. But I felt like that was a little too limited in my opinion. And to be completely honest, I personally don't want to get rid of my Robin. My Robin is E1 on my own account. She is for my follow-up attacking characters and sometimes for my Acheron, because I do have an E2 Acheron. And I wanted something to be able to use that would encourage me to finish a story. We are in Amorphous now. I know, right? And I want to be able to use my Aglaea team without having to worry about spreading off my Harmony characters. But that's pretty much it. My impressions, as you guys can kind of hear me rambling at this point, I like Aglaea. I'm gonna crank out a couple more of these videos and like test out some more things. If there are things that you want me to try, by all means, leave them down in the comments below. I like the character. I thought maybe she was going to be a little weak. I saw a lot of my peers talking about it, like they felt like she was going to be weak, but I feel like Aglaea, the speed at which she's attacking, the fact that she's doing considerable damage, like if we look at this from, you know, Feixiao or even the Herta, right? All of these characters at E0S1, they're all, relatively speaking, doing anywhere between 400 I won't say 400, maybe like 300 to 500K on average, but I'm noticing a pattern. We're going to talk about that in a completely different video. I don't want to talk your ear off with this one, but look forward to that video where I kind of go over the pattern of DPS characters as of late and why I think these newer DPS characters are kind of like solidifying themselves into the perfect DPS, if you will. That's going to be it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I can't say my usual outro because it's appropriate for YouTube. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Smell you later.